Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna mess y'all up with this one. But hey, football action coming at you rapidly, baby. We're gonna have some college football bets thrown at you. We're gonna break down every single NFL game. Then we're gonna give you all of our bets wrapped up at the end like a Christmas present. And when I say we, it's because my man JCP is here with me to talk football, week 3 of college and week 4 of the NFL. How you doing today, man? I appreciate
Hit
you
me with
coming
the
on.
pump fake.
Schedules, schedules, schedules switching up. I did hit you with the pump fake. I noticed that. But
No, it's
man,
all good. I appreciate it. We're doing good, man. It sounds like a lot better than you dealing with that horrible weather down there. But yeah, anytime, my guy, it's actually, we just talked about on air. It's like perfect timing because I literally just finished basically the whole part 1 of my wrap up of the bets and everything. So now it's like, man, we ready. It's another weekend
ready
of
to go,
football.
baby.
Week 2 is just way too crazy. But how are you doing down there? You got more craziness going on than me.
Oh
I just got
man,
a normal, boring Wednesday.
hey, I'm excited, man. Life's beautiful. Life is beautiful, man. Speaking of crazy, week 3 of college football. Got some good games.
Already.
Finally got some games. I feel like more than 1 or 2 big games, some nice matchups. I'm on a bunch of SEC games this weekend. LSU, one of my favorites, -6.5, total 50 in the hook. I like that over. Kind of like the Georgia Kentucky over 45.5. I gave that out, and just to be a sucker, I gave out Boston College plus the 16 in the hook. But where you at on college
Ooh.
football, man? Just go ahead and kind of take the floor and run us through your card and what games you're looking at this Saturday, Friday, maybe even Thursday.
I will say, before we get to that, keep in mind October 12th. That is going to be a big day in college football. There should be October 12th should be a full slate of just amazing, amazing, amazing games. I don't want to break it down. Even hey, we got NIU versus Bowling Green. Now that's an amazing game all of a sudden with implications. But like I said, that's way later. That's just supposed to be a really amazing weekend of college football. We're in week 3. It's crazy to think that week 3. We'll start off. I don't got these really in a time slot, which sucks. But I think I kind of got it close-ish. But we'll start off with Friday. We got a fun little matchup. Noah Fafita, Avery Johnson, Kansas State versus Arizona. Give me Arizona plus 7.5. I'm looking for Noah Fafita and I'm not gonna say it. McMillan. I literally try to say his name on my show as well. Can't say that for a damn, but McMillan and Fafita have been a great combo for Arizona. Didn't really get going last game. Look for them to at least keep it close within a touchdown this game. Kansas State favored by 9.5 against Tulane. Really weird game for them on Saturday.
Green Wave.
Hey, shout out to Tulane. They made that thing close until sack fumble kind of hurt it for him. But going back to Arizona, I just look for them to keep it close in this game. Another game you talked about a little bit. I'm on South Carolina plus 7.5. I got this written down in red. And for those of you who watch me on my show, red means that it's on the cutting room floor. We haven't fully made it a bet yet. There's this guy named Dylan Stewart for South Carolina who might be one of the freakiest dudes, pause, that I've seen in a while. This dude is 18 years old, and he is doing pass rush moves that are just absolutely unbelievable. Look him up on X if you got a chance later on. Dylan Stewart is just a freak in nature. I'm very excited to watch him. But the reason I want to take South Carolina plus 7.5, they just rolled Kentucky last week and showed a little bit of offense. For whatever reason, LSU at the beginning of the year is just not prepared. I'm looking at you, Brian Kelly. But moving on from that, though, there's a game that, like I said, I'm kind of iffy on. We're holding off on. I want to take it, but I just don't know if I can. But like I said, we're at least have it there. South Carolina plus 7.5, maybe. Just because I want the touchdown. I don't want 6.5. I want 7.5. Moving on, a team that by some miracle of God, from the back door, 2 grave sites over at Grandma's house, Oklahoma State covered 7.5 last weekend. What was a horrible coaching job by Arkansas. I look for Oklahoma State to get rolling this week. They play Tulsa, minus 19.5. I just look for them to win by 3 touchdowns, get the running game back on schedule. They just need to get right. They played a very, very weird game against Arkansas. Alan Bowman looked man. Ollie Gordon came on late. I just look for them to get right in this game. They need to be a little bit better. Another game I'm looking forward to watching. Cincinnati, 3.5-point favorites over Miami of Ohio. We got a little bit of action going on. Give me Miami of Ohio with some of their veteran dudes. I just look for them to keep it close in this game. Cincinnati just blew a game last week against Pitt that I'm not gonna say they had no reason to blow because I really didn't watch it, but I saw that they were up like almost I think 14-0 at one point. Look, and then Pitt comes back to win it. I'm just looking for Miami of Ohio to keep it close here. I really can't give you super reasons why I like them. They got a lot of veteran guys. They look to be one of the best teams in the MAC. One of my guys that I like watching loves them in the MAC as well. So I mean, hey, that MAC's gonna be fun this year, and they got a lot of good teams in that MAC. Hey, just know there's gonna be a lot of action on this show. Starting off with Miami of Ohio this week. Moving on though, Notre Dame minus 9.5. I'm gonna bring it up. Moving on, Virginia Tech minus 13.5. No, but we'll talk about Notre Dame. Don't know if I'm going to take it. I at least have it written down in red, but goddamn if I heartbroken. This just feels like a decent bounce back spot. They're playing Purdue at Purdue. Purdue has a decent quarterback though, and I don't know if Riley Leonard's learned how to throw the football yet. So we aren't going to take the bet just yet. We're just going to pray for my boys. That might be something I take that I'm just going to hate myself for later. Virginia Tech minus 13.5. They are playing some team that I can't remember. Old Dominion. They're playing Old Dominion. This is a good chance for them on the road just to get a big win. They didn't have their season started off rough with the loss to Vanderbilt, a game that really had no reason losing. Minus 13.5 in that game. So getting a little bit of PTSD to week one, but we're hoping that Virginia Tech can roll against Old Dominion, who has not looked the best so far this year. Another team that has not looked the best so far this year, but god damn it, I can't quit them. Jacksonville State. I can't quit them. They're playing against Eastern Michigan, who is by far not the best football team around. I'm looking for Jacksonville State to get potentially the first win of the season here, just simply for the reason that they're plus money against Eastern Michigan. So it's a toss-up game. I think Jacksonville State's slightly better, but you don't got to take it. If you want to get disgusting with me, this is another team where it's like, man, y'all got to prove something to me. All right, I'm done with y'all boys. A game that should get honestly really disgusting. Georgia minus 24.5. We'll talk about the NFL here in a minute, obviously, but when you're giving out Daniel Jones is going to be our starting quarterback in week 2, not a good vibe. Benching your quarterback that was a transfer from Georgia in week 2, not a good vibe. So I have no good vibes from Kentucky. They got rolled by South Carolina, who really didn't have any offense, and a lot of the guys I watched were like, man, I don't know what this offense is going to be this year. Next week, they dropped 30 against Kentucky. So, I mean, now they're playing Georgia. I just look for them to roll. Brock Vandagriff, that boy stank. I don't know if he's going to get better this week. I don't want to call the kid out, obviously, because, hey, he's a collegiate kid. He's getting to play his dream out, but he needs to play better if they're going to want to cover this. And I just look for Georgia with more talent to be able to roll. I got UCF minus 2.5 written down. Have no reason why. I just have a gut feeling that I like that number. I kind of like UCF in that spot against TCU, but we win a lot of money. Maybe I'll bet that. As of right now, I'm not fully sold on it. Last 3 games I do have to give out. Nebraska minus 27.5 over FCS Midwest. I'm just kidding. I actually forget who they play, though, but it's some team where I think it's some Northern Iowa. That's who it is. Nebraska beat Colorado 28-10, I want to say, and Colorado has a lot more talent. I understand Colorado's the whole thing itself, but they have a lot more talent than I think Northern Iowa does, and Nebraska kind of put off the brakes. They really could have rolled in that game. So that's the case. I think Nebraska should be able to roll against Northern Iowa. And, hey, I got my guy, shout out Tone from the Pat McAfee Show. I think I'm all on board with him. Watch out for Nebraska to be 6-0, 7-0, rolling into Ohio State later in the year. Nebraska's schedule really lights up for them to get going. This is another game where minus 27.5. I mean, they should beat this team by 30, no question. And with how good that defensive line is, I'm not going to say there's no reason that Northern Iowa shouldn't score, but if they score more than 10, I'm going to be more disappointed in Nebraska than you can imagine. Moving on, 2 more games left. Air Force plus 15.5 against Baylor. Baylor's just not impressed me at all this year. Another team I can't quit, the Air Force boys, man. They've been doing me right so far. So I'm going to stick with Air Force plus 15.5 here. Just keep it within 2 touchdowns. DeQuan Finn for Baylor has been shaky so far to start, and I think Baylor's coach is on fire watch. I can't remember what his name is, but he is on. You want to talk about hot seats? That boy's seat might as well be melting. Last game, this team should absolutely roll. Colorado minus 7.5. It's plus 100. They're playing Colorado State. Colorado State is nothing like it was last year. I think the books are putting a little bit too much respect on Colorado State. I understand the offensive and defensive line for Colorado are poopy doo-doo, and I'm allowed to say that, not you, Shadur Sanders, but I did not like him saying that, by the way. You can't call your offensive line in the media. Can't do it. Even if they are, like I said, poopy doo-doo. Can't call them out in the media. But
Can't do it.
Colorado minus 7.5. Can't do it. They should roll here in the spot against Colorado State. I mean, truly, there's no reason that they don't win this game by 10 plus. And the only reason they don't is if their defense is just horrific, which it's shown it can be. But yeah, Colorado State is nothing like it was last year. This team is not as good as the books I think are giving it. So 7.5 should be a pretty decent number.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, I love it.
Pascal giving out all the information, man.
Hey, that's why we get you on the show, man. Get the ins and the outs. Cause
Yeah, 13 bets though. Jesus, it's gonna be a fun one this weekend in college football. Honestly,
yeah. Week 3, man. Some teams' seasons will be made or broken. Let's jump over to the big boys. Thursday night football. Start off there. Buffalo taking on the Dolphins. Dolphins minus 2.5 at home. Total set at 48.5. A lot of people like the over. Definitely see both of these defenses giving up some points. Only play I really like a lot in this game is I'm gonna go Jalen Waddle over his receiving yards and Jalen Waddle anytime touchdown. 63.5 is the number, and +1. I got a +170. I think it's +180 right now. Where you at? Buffalo, Miami. Thursday night, starting off week 2.
I saw 175. So that I think with Raheem Mostert being announced out, that Jalen Waddle number's moving around a little bit. I'm kind of why is there a reason the Bills are only favorite or Bills are +2.5? Feels weird after watching. I don't get it. That just felt really weird to me. So I'm on the Bills. I'm gonna take the money line, but for the pick record, I'm gonna give out the 2.5 just to take the points because hey, a 1-0 looks better than a 0-1 on the record books, even if I lose money. Hint, hint. But no, I was just shocked the Bills were +2.5 here. I couldn't find a good reason other than maybe it's hot, but I did not like what Miami did at all last week. I mean, it literally took ETN. I mean, what was it? It was 17-7. Should have been 24-7. ETN should have ran it in easily, but ball gets punched out. Shout out Javon Holland. Punches it out. Miami gets it. Very next play, 80-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Completely flips the game. And
that's why they played.
It's literally ETN should have ran into the end zone, walked in free. Ball gets punched out. Completely flips game. I mean, other than that, Dolphins should have been on 24-7. Completely think this line was flipped in. But on the same coin, I guess the Bills were down 17-0, 17-7 like that to the Cardinals, but then they came back and were able to win. So I don't know, it's just a little weird spot there. So I'm just going to take the Bills. I really don't like. I'm starting to become a Miami hater. I'm feeling like with all this, how much I just like look down on Miami, and I'm not trying to be. It's just like, man, shout out Jalen Ramsey. I like Jalen Ramsey, but man, when I look at this Miami Dolphins, maybe it's just Tua. There's just something about this Dolphin team I just can't figure out. I just can't get around to ever getting behind them fully. In the beginning of the season, they're really good. When it gets cold all of a sudden, and the boys ain't the best. But I'm going to take the Bills +2.5 here. I just think that Thursday night game, that's the nice part about this. The Thursday night game is a great equalizer because it's a short week, division game. It's basically a toss-up. So I like that aspect of it. I'm going to take James Cook to score a touchdown. Didn't do it last week. Kind of burned me. Kind of hurt. Shout out Josh Allen for vulturing 2 of them things. So because of that, we're going to take Josh Allen -110 to hedge it. My official pick is James Cook to score a touchdown, but I'm going to hedge with Josh Allen. So when he rushes in and James Cook doesn't get it, I can be like, fuck you, Josh, but thank you.
Yeah.
Kind of like a happiness hedge. That's what we'll call it. The happiness hedge. Hey. Like, I hate you, Josh, but thank you.
Yeah. Love it, man. Saints, baby. New Orleans. 1-0 going into Dallas. Kicking off the Sunday slate. Dallas at home, only 6.5-point favorites against the horrible Saints. Total here is moved. It was 45.5 all week. This is my first time seeing it at 46.5. I kind of like the over. Not gonna play anything in this game, but man, I feel like Dallas on the spread and the over would be the play here, just numbers wise. You think the Saints do what they did against the Panthers, against the Cowboys?
Hell no.
It's a tough pill to swallow, but
if you want to hear something, this was really shocking to me. So in the NFL rankings they give out every week, like after Sunday and everything. So the Saints won 47-10, and they moved from 25 to 23. That shows how impressive a 47-10 win is against the Panthers. I mean, shout out to the Saints. They beat the shit out of them, and they just literally killed all Panthers fans' hope. That's what's really depressing. But yeah, I just don't. Man, it sucks to be a Panthers fan. It has to suck. We don't need to. I feel so bad for him. But Saints here.
You had your 15-1 a couple years ago.
They had their moments. Now they're the new Lions. Anyway, saying I feel like this might be very similar to the not Detroit, sorry, the Cleveland score last week where it's like 33-20, 33-17, something like that. I don't know why I haven't bet the Cowboys spread, but they're a good regular season team. They always are. I think they should have covered by, I mean, they easily could win this game by 10. I mean, Derek Carr could easily be Derek Carr and just be absolutely horrible and not do anything, and their defense shuts him down, which wouldn't shock me. But he didn't play horrible last week against the Panthers. So I'm kind of haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I think I'm going to be on the side of -6.5 here for the Cowboys. And then I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb to score. Ezekiel Elliott feels like kind of easy, but he scored last week. I don't know if I want to take him at -110. I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb and then maybe wait during the game. And maybe hopefully best case scenario, CeeDee Lamb scores first half. I take Zeke to score in the second half. Zeke falls his big old ass in the end zone, and we're all happy and celebrating. Dude, his last touchdown he scored, it was so funny to watch. From 1 yard out, it's like, man, that might be one of the slowest 1 yard runs I've ever seen. But it's great. I mean, Zeke still has some stuff in it. Just tell you what, as long as they don't put that boy at center, I like the Cowboys in this game.
Hey, I'm with you. Tampa Bay, baby, the other NFC South team that had an impressive win week 1. They get a true test. Bucks +7 on the road in Detroit taking on the Lions. 51.5 the total here. I feel like this is a week of favorites. I like a lot of favorites. I don't know if I want to do some money line parlays. Obviously, teasers have been huge this week. But a lot of favorites. I like the favorite in almost every game this week. Detroit Lions -7. It feels a little big, but the way they controlled the run game, just that last drive in overtime, if they just do that, I think they control this Buccaneers game. I think you're looking at a 31-17 game. Detroit Lions covering the 7. Total's a little iffy, over 50. But hey, they're both in the dome. Both of these offenses can put some points up. I could see it happening. But where you at on the Detroit Lions? Also, just real quick, nobody I really like to score here outside of Mike Evans is a number that I like. So I haven't touched anything yet on this anytime touchdown thing.
I'm struggling a little bit there too myself, honestly. I'll admit, as a guy who had Rams +5, that overtime drive might have been the most soul crushing yet horniest I've ever been about watching football, because it's just like, oh my god, they just literally imposed their will when they needed to most, and it feels like we might see that a lot of that this year. Yeah, but if you want to talk about disgusting for anytime touchdown scores before I give into my sides, Jahmyr Gibbs -180, David Montgomery -165. I think both of them are going to score, but I ain't betting those numbers. There's just no reason. There's absolutely no reason to bet that at that point. You might as well just wait live, hope it takes a minute to score, and get a better number. But yeah, I don't like that at all. I think Lions win here. I don't know. I don't want to take the -7, but yeah, I'm agree with you where this could be like a 31-20 game. Baker looked pretty good last week, I'll admit. So I want to give these Bucks a second chance, but yeah, I also think that after what I saw them do to the Rams at the same time, it's like, man, they might win this game by 10 plus easily. I don't want to say easily, obviously, because it's the NFL, but
Yeah, because they could have easily lost to the Rams, but at the same time, I feel like that last drive just showed me that they've like it clicked. Like, oh yeah, let's get back to just
yeah.
whooping people's ass in the trenches.
And it was almost not more than that. Kind of made me realize too. It's like, all right, maybe it wasn't more than losing that game. Maybe it was more with Matt Stafford kind of figuring something out and keeping the Rams close enough in it. But because I mean, two people I like to score for the Lions that I'm looking at, because I do like Mike Evans as well. Mike Evans or Rashad White might be a duo that I look up every single week to score for the Bucks, especially in games that looks like they're going to score. When it comes to the Lions, Amon-Ra +100, Sam Laporta +130. I like both those guys. They kind of got shut down last week, kind of got where the emphasis of the game plan for the Rams. Obviously, I think they're going to be the emphasis this week as well. So I'm trying to figure out who I think is going to be able to break loose between one of those two. But I look for one of those two to have a big week this week. I think Jameson Williams will get a bit more focus. He's only +165 now and a little too low. So yeah, those are two guys I'm looking at to score there. But yeah, past the rat for the rest of this game. I think Lions win. I just can't get around taking the -7, even though I think they're probably going to win by 10 plus.
Hell yeah, man. Cleveland Browns get down. They're taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. -3.5. Jaguars -3.5 at home. Total 41.5. Staying away from this game with a 10-foot pole. But I do like both running backs to score, and I like both of the numbers here. Jerome Ford at +170. He got in at the last second for me in week 1, +175 now. And Travis Etienne, I think he wants to make up for the fumble. He gets in the end zone. He's plus 105. I'm going to take both of these running backs to score. But other than that, I'm going to ignore this game and act like I didn't bet it.
Yep, I'm in the same exact boat. Deshaun Watson is not fun to watch play football. At this point, at least right now. When it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, they had no reason losing that game. Going for and fourth one your own territory, dumbass play call. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm with you. I don't mind Travis Etienne. I was just scared of the team punishing him, quote unquote, and being like, all right, we're going to give Tank Bigsby a goal line touch here too before you get your chance. Now, are they actually going to do that? I don't know. They might not be that petty. They might give him another chance. But I do like for him to try to score again this week. If I wasn't going to pick somebody from the Jaguars, though, I do like Jerome Ford, by the way. So I like Jerome Ford. I am taking ETN, but if I wasn't going to pick ETN, I like Evan Ingram to maybe get some goal line work and find his way in, plus 175. But past that, yeah, I want nothing to do with this game. This game is disgusting. This game is absolutely disgusting.
Hell yeah. No, I
Good
agree.
luck, Trevor Lawrence, though.
Hey, San Francisco, baby. The 49ers, my favorite play of the week, moved from minus 5.5, where I bet it to sitting at 6.5 on the road. 49ers looking like the real deal. They also look a little out of shape, which worries me, but I think they'll figure it out enough to slam the Vikings like they did the Jets. Total 45.5. Also lean towards the over here, but minus 6.5. I like it. I took Niners 5.5. It was the first bet and the biggest bet I've made so far this week.
Yeah. Also, speaking on the 49ers, we just got some news. Kyle Shanahan tells reporters that Christian McCaffrey will be limited today in practice, which is better than obviously a DNP. And then he also says he is not considered a candidate for the IR, which is good news. That means he's going to come back within the next 3 games, obviously. But is he going to play this week? I still don't know. It sounds like everyone's kind of planning for Jordan Mason for the most part. And they might as well. I mean, Jordan Mason balled out. But yeah, when it comes to this game, I think the Vikings got an awesome week 1 opponent in the Giants, who are, speaking of poopy doo doo, the Giants. I just think, I think 49ers win this game pretty easily. Minus 6.5 feels like it's pretty safe. If you want to get a little bit nasty, minus 9.5 is plus 150. Kind of like that. I think they win this game by 10 plus. Honestly, if the defense did that to the Jets, no, I think Aaron Rodgers is way better than Sam Darnold. I don't know what the Vikings offense is going to do. They obviously have Justin Jefferson. They do have some talent, but I think that, yeah, this is a 33-20 game, something like that, and they cover the 10 easily. So
I think
might sprinkle that.
I think it gets ugly, man. I don't know.
I think it could
get over 10.
I think obviously they always could, but yeah, with Sam Darnold quarterback, man, and against that 49ers defense, I don't want to bet on them. Wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Can't give me enough points.
Another game I'm all over, like peanut butter and jam, baby.
So low. Way too low.
Chargers 6.5 on the road taking on the Panthers. Panthers just look horrible in week 1. Total set at 38 and a hook. I mean, I don't know how anybody doesn't bet the Chargers minus 6.5. I'm saying that as somebody who has not, to be clear, has not bet Chargers minus 6.5. But I don't know how you don't do it here. I'm also on J.K. Dobbins. He's plus 140. Gus Edwards, he's plus 155. I'm trying to decide if I want to take both of them or just pick one and ride with them. But I think both of these guys get a touchdown. I think we're looking at another 47-10 game. Chargers just run all over this Panthers team. And if I'm wrong, I'll take money. And if the Panthers take my money this season, I'll probably just bet against them every week. I feel like that's a good investment.
Holy hell. You basically said every single thing I wanted to say except for one more thing. Chargers minus 9.5 plus 136. And one more alt I will look at. I didn't give it out on my show. But man, if you want to be real disrespectful.
I feel like I gotta bet it live right now.
Oh my god. All right. You're gonna Chargers minus 13.5 plus 240. I might sprinkle a little bit of that as well, but yeah, minus 5.5, minus 9.5. I'm gonna be all over both of those, all over JK and Gus Edwards as well. You literally broke it down basically. What you said, ditto, pretty much. Panthers take my money, take me away.
Those numbers just got longer too.
I genuinely, okay, first off, the dumbest thing I ever saw at the beginning of the season was Panthers win total over 6.5. What in the hell did they see? Or 4.5, 5.5 might have been that. Maybe got up to 6. I don't know what in the hell anybody saw that thought they were going to improve at all in any games. That was the That was, I think, my biggest lock of all my futures was, hammer the Panthers under. I do not get this at all. I genuinely do not. And another game, they lost and lose 47-10 to a Saints team that most people project to be 7-10. Everyone, I'm not going to say get on their knees and blow the Chargers, but a lot of people love Harbaugh. I do it too. I love Harbaugh, and you're telling me that this is 5.5 after what the Chargers defense did. I mean, I don't get it. Genuinely don't get it. If you want a touchdown for the Panthers, I'll take Xavier Legette. He got a lot of targets last week, rookie, and he has some pretty long odds, plus 700. I mean, and why not? But man, you can't put enough money on the Chargers, in my opinion. But also gamble responsibly, because I guess there's a chance the Panthers win, but in my eyes, I didn't see it. I do love the thing that sucks is I do love to end on the Panthers real quick. I do love Dave Canales. I love what he did with Baker last year and everything. So this really sucks. And man, I'm starting to feel a little bit bad for Bryce Young. He's starting to lose a little bit of fundamentals. It's starting to get to a point where it's like, man, that kid's broken. And it sucks to say, but it's starting to get scary down there.
Yeah. I called a bus when he was in high school. No, I'm kidding.
You know what's crazy too is
I didn't like.
Oh, sorry, you go ahead. I didn't want to call him a bust just simply for the fact of him as a talent, but I didn't even think about the fact that damn, he's going to be a bust because of the place he went to. Didn't even cross my mind, but it's like damn, he literally is going to be a bust because the Panthers are going to ruin him. The kid stood no chance. He stands no chance until David Tepper either becomes a good owner or they just figure something out. They still got so many holes to fill. I mean, man, CMC gone, DJ Moore gone, Brian Burns gone. That's 3 of the best players. Derek Brown, one of their best defenders now, out for the season most likely. Man.
No, it's a sad situation in Carolina, man. Ravens trying to turn their luck upside down. They take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Gardner Minshew trying to get his first win of the season. 9.5 on the Ravens feels like a good number. I do think the Ravens get back on track and just absolutely blow out the Raiders. I think the Jets get back on track and blow out the Titans. Total set at 41.5. I'm staying away from this game completely, but definitely like the Ravens.
I think I'm in the same boat as well. I got the Ravens in a teaser that I shared with you. That got them down to 3.5. A little bit nervous about that, but at the same time, they should win this game pretty bad. One thing I do want to bring up before we move on, because I really don't got anything in this game. Derrick Henry minus 190 score touchdowns, disgusting. Plus 310 for 2 touchdowns is disgusting, especially after Harbaugh came out and said that we didn't sign him to give him 30 carries a game. We signed him to be a key piece to where, hey, maybe it's Derrick Henry's game. This game is Zay Flowers' game. This game is Mark Andrews' game. So hearing that, I'm not going to be taking a lot of Ravens prop this year because it sounds like they're going to be, hey, whoever's game it is, you're the hot hand. So this might be a good live betting team to see who's getting a lot of work. But it won't be bad to ever sprinkle Justice Hill. Probably not a bad option, but because he's going to get a decent amount of looks. But yeah, I'm just staying away from this game. One thing I did want to say though before we move on, Antonio Pierce, that punt decision he made on the 41.
Can't do it.
Tiny balls. If you go to the history of the NFL, that is, I think, the 3rd worst punt in NFL history of the last 2,000 punt decisions or whatever. It's that is one of the I don't even know the best way to describe it. One of the softest decisions ever to punt in that situation for him to not go for it. That's just all I had to bring up. So if he gets fired this year, let's remember this moment. I don't want to call for his job, obviously, but when you make decisions like that, not a good look.
Speaking of a good look, New England Patriots, baby, undefeated going into week 2, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks minus 3.5 on the road in New England. Total set at 37 in the hook here. I'm gonna act like this game doesn't exist. I don't know if you want to do anything with it. 3.5. I'd probably take. I'm taking I like every single favorite this week, and that's scary as hell. So I'm limiting my bets for sure. This is one of those games I'm just gonna stay away from, even though I like the number 3.5.
Yeah, I think I agree because I just don't know. I want to keep evaluating this Patriots team a little bit more. Now that I remember the Bengals are a notoriously slow starter, and now that I know that they're just going to start slow no matter who they play. I wanted to look at this Patriots team because the Patriots team just pretty much ran right the whole game and it just worked. So I'm curious to see what happens if they have to run left occasionally.
Yeah.
If you want to know something dirty about this game, Ramondre Stevenson scored touchdowns plus 130. He's the leader. You have to count 7 Seahawks before you get to another Patriots player. That Patriots player is plus 400 down there. For me in this game, if Kenneth Walker plays, bet Kenneth Walker to score a touchdown. If he doesn't play, pack up the suitcase, turn off the light, lock the door. I ain't betting this game. This is after what I saw the Patriots do to the Bengals last week. Yeah, I want no part of this stuff because the Patriots defense might actually be pretty legit. So this could be a disgusting game, score wise.
Too legit to quit. Mayo, baby. How you like it?
Mayo.
The coach, right? Jordan Mayo?
Oh, I was so confused. I was like, Mayo. I forgot. I keep forgetting Gerard Mayo's their coach. In my mind, I was still thinking Bill Belichick. That's what.
The coach,
No joke.
baby.
Woo,
Indianapolis.
man. Holy hell,
-3.
Gerard Mayo's their coach.
Lambeau Field. How you feeling about this weekend taking on the Packers with Malik Willis starting at quarterback? Absolute stud down there in Green Bay. This is his chance to shine. The total sitting at 40 in the hook here. I think we're looking at Colts getting the ball around the 50 every possession, running the score up. And I kind of like the over 40.5. Kind of like the -3 for sure.
Just so you know, Gerard Mayo is the coach of the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe I forgot that. Shout out to him for his first win, though. Legit. On the side note, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Patriots, baby. Dynasty back.
Disgusting. The Colts. This number when I was live went from -3.5 to -3 as I was dissing Malik Willis. So I didn't know if that was the universe spitting in my face or what, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Unless there's something I'm missing about Malik Willis, I don't get this number at all. I know, don't get me wrong, the Colts have 0 defensive backs. But you know what the best part is? Malik Willis has 0 ability to throw the football. Yeah. So that might work out in our favor. The Colts just lost Juju Brents for their whole season. Really, really sucks because he's our second best corner. And now we're basically, I don't want to call them Jags because they're NFL players, but we might as well, it's, the fantasy waiver wire. Imagine that for cornerback. That's what the Colts basically are going to probably have to do this year. It's going to be another ragtag at that point. So that might be why it's 3, but Colts should win this game by a lot. Unless the defense just absolutely stinks, which is the case, I guess, because Gus Bradley is the coach. 3 doesn't feel like enough points. I mean, the Green Bay Packers, realistically, like defensively, yes, they're going to be good, but that defense is going to be on the field a lot potentially because I think there's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs on offense from Malik Willis. I mean, there's a fantasy football podcast I listen to. They literally said, don't start a single Green Bay Packer unless it's Jaden Reed. So that's all you need to learn about Malik Willis being the quarterback.
I'm not going to start Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I'd be scared to start anybody. I don't understand. I mean, they're going to try to get Jaden Reed the ball, obviously, in like gadget type plays. But past that, I don't know what to expect for them to do on offense. Colts -3 all day, every day to the bank. Colts -6.5. Plus 150. It moved a little bit.
Alt line, baby. Week 2 coming.
Plus 172. Hey, Books is still trying to figure some stuff out. Like Panthers plus 5.5. That is just straight up disrespectful to the Chargers. But yeah. Colts -6.5 plus 172. I'm not gonna lie. Colts -9.5 plus 252, 255. I mean, realistically, the Colts have no reason or no business to lose this game at all, especially with Malik Willis, the quarterback. Malik Willis also, as much as I am dissing him, just got there like 2-3 weeks ago. So as he's learning the playbook, not only and his all-time, I think all-time, he has 0 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. I'm not a math guy, but that ain't good.
No, I've seen him play a few times. Good guy, great guy.
Great guy.
New York, the Jets. Jets, baby. I think they bounce back. I think 3.5 is low. I think the Titans do something similar to last week. They put up 17 points, have a few turnovers, and the Jets get an Aaron Rodgers, relax. It's only week 1. I'll slap the hell out of anybody who think I ain't the greatest. We just beat the Titans by 10. Jets -3.5 is a bet I'm considering. The total 40 in the hook also. I think it's a definitely 27-17 type game. I think it gets over 40.
Shout out to Surrender Cobra, man. Oh my, I won't lie to you. Literally, Will Levis, the second he threw that throw, I'm like, oh, he just lost in the game. Nice. So yeah, now they know that Will Levis is in there.
He's there.
He's there. It was hilarious too. You saw that guy. I don't know if you saw that guy in our fantasy group. I was just like, man, Will Levis might be a guy. Like,
yeah,
that's a bit egregious to say. And that happened. I immediately thought about that too.
The juices was flowing. He saw one drive. And he sent the text.
Oh, we back. Hey, shout out to that boy.
2
I don't
years
remember.
Later, he regretted it. I'm sure. He said, "Man, maybe he's."
Oh yeah.
I was like,
I don't think that boy said a lot for the rest of the day, but no, shout out Will Levis though losing me that game and pick him. And I'm glad I ended up not picking the Titans plus 4.5 and actually betting it because man,
Best decision of my life.
Oh my!
I liked it all week. Didn't take it at all.
Literally, liked it all week. Didn't take it. And sure enough, works out. Jets minus 3.5. Jets minus 6.5. Plus 144. Jets minus 9.5. Plus 220. If you want to get super nasty, I think the Jets win this. This is another game. Jets should win by 10 plus, but because it's on the road, they should usually win by a touchdown. I think the Jets defense is going to play a lot better. I think people forget that is the 49ers offense. And hey, the 49ers are kind of good at football. I think all of us forgot that a little bit. So I'll look for the Jets defense to bounce back a little bit here. I think they're going to play a lot better. Anytime touchdown scores, give me the only two guys who touch the ball. Brees Hall minus 170, Garrett Wilson plus 165. If you want to bet Allen Lazard again, plus 280. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers really didn't throw it to the right side of the field too much. It's mainly always to the left. So I'm going to wait for him to, look to the right and actually start throwing it more because I am very, very curious now if this is becoming a thing where I know he trusts his leg a little bit, and he was moving on it a little bit, but he's getting that ball out quick. He still might not be ready to fully get hit. So I'm going to keep an eye on that until I watch him see the field more. I'm only going to be on Garrett Wilson, who's plus 165, and I'm going to wait for Brees Hall to drop. It's minus 170, so stupid. And his rushing, you mentioned his rushing under. Might not be mad at that at all. I'm going to wait for it to pop up to see what it is, but until I see him run.
Whoa. We don't tell the secrets. That's the back pocket bet right there. Ain't trying to get it Sabrina.
Hey, we're 38 minutes in. The OG's getting that one.
Hey.
The OG's getting that one.
Hey.
Yeah, there's a reason I didn't mention
that bet for about 40 hours, waiting for it to pop up.
Boy sitting there in the bushes just
waiting for it. Man, the Giants, baby. The New York Football Giants.
If you want to skip this game, we can.
On the Washington Commanders, Washington minus 1.5, total 44.5. I definitely think the Commanders win this game. Jaden Daniels, he looked all right.
Ran too much, but he looked all right.
Hey, it's the Kyler Murray effect. Get scared, take off.
He does need to trust his throws a little bit more. I'm assuming that will be coming with time. He's only a rookie. I'm not going to bash him too much on it. His rushing over only being 51 when he rushed for 88 first game. Kind of interesting, but the Giants do have a pretty decent defensive line, so I'm going to keep an eye on that one. That might be a last minute throw it in the bet slip, the rushing over, but if I'm going to take any touchdown scores, Jaden Daniels minus 105, Brian Robinson plus 125. Those are two guys I'm looking at. I'm not going to bet the Commanders because their defense might stink. It didn't look too impressive last week, so I'm going to keep an eye on their defense, kind of evaluate it this week. The one Giants player I'm going to take the score this week. They didn't score a touchdown last week. If they score a touchdown this week, because indeed the Commanders defense does stink. Wan'Dale Robinson at plus 280. He got a shit ton of targets last week. I think led the team with targets potentially, if I saw that right. So Wan'Dale Robinson at plus 280. I'm going to look for him to maybe get like a gadget type play. He's kind of their speedy guy. Maybe he'll find a way into the end zone if the Giants do end up scoring. But yeah, past those three guys scoring, I'm not really touching much else in this game. This might be a live bet. Maybe if the Commanders go down, live bet them to come back and win. But I need to evaluate both these teams a little bit more. Except for the Giants. Just kidding. The Giants absolutely stink. I want to evaluate the Commanders a little bit more. Let me rephrase that.
Talking about something you want to skip, huh? Rams. Cardinals, baby.
Hey.
Cardinals minus 1.5. Total 49.5. If anything, I'm on the Rams money line plus 100, but I got nothing for you in this game. Took Cooper Kupp a touchdown last game. It was the most sweatiest bet I've ever made in my life, waiting on him to score. But I'm staying away from this Rams-Cardinals game.
This is going to be a really good game, I think. This is going to be a really fun, exciting game. I was about to tell you, hey, the Cooper Kupp touchdown shouldn't be sweaty this week. Buka Nakua out on IR with the knee issue, so that's going to be interesting to see how their offense works. If you want to get nasty with the touchdown score, Demarcus Robinson plus 220. He should get some decent targets. But I'm looking at tight end. Colby Parkinson at plus 340. That's going to be a guy I keep my eye on. Haven't placed it. Going to keep my eye on it. He's basically like because I'm betting Cooper Kupp at minus 110. I might bet Kyron Williams if he goes down a bit. Going to bet James Conner for the Cardinals. So I'm looking for a fourth guy. Colby Parkinson's going to be the next guy up. I immediately bet. He got a decent amount of the targets. He's going to be in there for a while. While I forget can't think of the Rams starter's name is, but while he's out for a bit, Colby Parkinson's going to be the guy. He caught 4 for like 50 last week. Can't remember if he got any targets in the red zone because, Matt Stafford just threw it to Cooper Kupp 500 times. So speaking of that, whatever Cooper Kupp's reception over is, take it. 21 targets in week 1. 21 targets in week 1. 14 receptions. Take his receiving receptions over. Take the receptions over. Take the receptions over. He's the only one who's going to get the ball.
Well, that's nasty. Chiefs.
21
-5.5.
targets.
Yeah.
By the way, that is stupid.
That's mad numbers, baby. Chiefs
That's
5.5 at home, taking on the Bengals. Joe Burrow, the broken hand and all, trying to give it a go. Total 47 in the hook. Kind of like the Chiefs -5.5, man. Bengals just look horrible early in the season, and it's becoming a bad habit. And I don't think it ends here. I don't think they just show up and play their best game against the Chiefs.
I made the joke in my show. Wouldn't it be funny if the Bengals went 1-1, but they lost to the Patriots, beat the Chiefs? Give me the Bengals plus 5.5. I'm just kidding. I'm not taking anything in this game. I'm not taking anything in this game. No, I don't like what I'm hearing about Joey Burrow's wrist. I don't like what I saw from the Bengals week 1. I came on your show. I said Colts plus 3 was my favorite. Or I said Colts money line. I could have said Colts plus 3. It's my favorite bet of the day. Walked back on it and said the Bengals and gave a legit one, and they got embarrassed. I don't want anything to do with this Bengals team. I need to watch them a little bit more too. They're way too slow starters. I think Joe Burrow all-time style 6-6 in September. They got a tough schedule too.
Broken hand, man. That's gonna kill him.
Yeah, and I don't know what's up with this wrist, so I want to watch it a little bit more. Isaiah Pacheco -125. I kind of like that. Travis Kelce plus 130. I don't know. I don't like his haircut. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I've seen those memes. It's pretty funny. I do like Rashee Rice plus 145. Yeah. It's not the worst haircut I've seen, but I tell you what, it ain't the best.
Worthy.
You see, he scored 2 last. I am gonna take him, but I didn't want to give him out just for the reason that I didn't. In case I don't know. I think he's gonna do it again though. But man, is he gonna score a touchdown in every single game? That was my thinking. So it's like, man, maybe take a break from this week. But you are right. I wasn't going to give him out. You peer pressure me into it. So we're going to take Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Isaiah Pacheco. Hoping 2 of those 3 score, and we make it out pretty decent.
Yes, sir. Talking about making it out pretty decent. 2.5 now on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, sir. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Still haven't scored a touchdown.
Taking on the Denver Broncos. Total set at 36 in the hook. How do you not take the Steelers -2.5 here? How do you not do it?
You got to do it.
I'm not taking it, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, lucky for you, I like getting nasty and disgusting. Steelers -2.5. I cannot wait to sweat this out because they just won't score a touchdown. They'll kick 8 field goals again. Shout out Chris Boswell. Literally won a game by himself last week, damn near. It's really interesting. I hope they keep Justin Fields in. I really hope they keep Justin Fields in. Thank you, Jesus. I don't need Russ in there. Russ revenge game would be. Shout out Russell Wilson, by the way. Russ revenge game would be kind of interesting for the vibes, but I don't know who's the better quarterback between him and Fields. I'm just gonna ride the defense against the rookie quarterback. Who, I mean, they made Kirk Cousins and his bum Achilles look iffy last week. So I'm ready to see how they make Bo Nix look. So I'm going to take the Steelers -2.5, ride the defense. Anytime touchdown score. They didn't score a touchdown last week. Until they score a touchdown, I ain't betting it. It might be the only team who didn't score a touchdown last week, I think.
Hey, man. The Houston
Disgusting.
Texans.
By the way, real quick, sorry. Shout out my boy Jaron. We have a conspiracy going a little bit that Mike Tomlin might just not enjoy scoring touchdowns. He might just hate offense and he loves defense and special teams too much.
He's like, if we don't win the game on fumbles and punts, we ain't winning.
Are we even winning? I mean, everyone does offense, but nobody does defense and special teams. It's starting to get to a point, man, because my boy Jaron's like, man, it's been 6 years since we had a good offense. And he's a hardcore Steelers fan, so he knows. I got inside info. Tomlin might just like that nasty type of game.
Hey, he looks like the type. Texans -6.5, baby. Primetime football. Caleb Williams. What you gonna do when the lights are on? Total 45.
Throw for 100.
This is another over I like. Caleb Williams, 3 picks. Texans roll 6.5. Love the favorites in these primetime games. Houston at home 6.5, and then we can get to the game in a minute. But I also love the Eagles 6.5 at home. Man.
Yep.
The Bears.
Should have lost. We can basically like, no joke. It's honestly kind of ironic. We can literally talk about these teams basically in the same boat. So I'm just going to talk. Just while I'm talking about this, just know I'm talking about the Houston Texans and the Eagles at the same time. I like both of this -6.5. I like both quarterbacks. I think that in the Bears case, CJ Stroud ain't going to do a Will Levis and just give them a touchdown. And Atlanta Falcons case, the Eagles are going to score touchdowns. I think both defenses should be able to hold up enough against both offenses where I don't trust Kirk Cousins yet on his leg. I don't think he trusts his leg either. He had some weird plays, weird throws. He doesn't look fully right. I don't know if he's like 90, 95% or if he's just scared to play on it.
It's primetime Kirk, bro.
Primetime Kirk. It's not Kirko Chains anymore. This is new Kirko. He's down in the dirty South. We got to see how this boy plays in the South now. This might be a new man. And then for the Bears, Caleb Williams, I will admit, those nails did look fly. I could see the orange from a mile away. Only threw for 93 yards. Basically,
the Bears
kind of was there for the ride. When another team talks about, man, I wish we punted every drive in the second half so that we could have won. That ain't a good look. Rome Odunze out for a little bit too. I think the Bears will get better. I'm excited from Caleb Williams has his moment. I think that the Texas defense is a slight bit worse than the Steelers, but they're still a pretty good defense. I mean, they did decent numbers on the Colts other than like 3 bomb plays. But I look for the Bears to struggle a little bit still on offense. I think they still need to work out some kinks. I look for the Atlanta Falcons to struggle on offense. I still think they need to work out some kinks. I look for Eagles and Texans both probably win these games by close to 10. Touchdown scores for the Texans. Give me that boy Tank Dell, plus 260. Plus 210, excuse me. Love my boy Tank Dell. Should have scored last week. Stephon Diggs scored 2 of them things last week. Did the same dance twice. Pick a new dance. I'm not hating too much, but man, I want to see do a new dance. Style it up. I'm not going to pick anybody from the Bears because I want to watch them a little bit more on offense. I do like Tank Dell. Joe Mixon probably wouldn't be a bad one, but I'm going to wait for a little bit to see if Joe Mixon's the focal point of the offense in the run game like he was against the Colts, or if the Colts just couldn't stop the run last week. As for the Eagles, I'd be a fool not to take Saquon Barkley, score a touchdown. I know his odds are probably horrendous. -165 is actually not that bad. By the time the game starts on Monday, that's probably going to drop to like -140, where it's a little bit more doable. I like that. I probably like Devontae Smith in this game because AJ Brown scored last game. I feel like maybe this is the Devontae Smith game. Well, his number just moved to -175 as we're talking. Never mind. It's definitely not going to drop at this point. So probably not taking Saquon Barkley. But I do like him to score. I'm going to take Jalen Hurts probably -120. Probably should have scored last week. Didn't score. Look for him to score this week. And then for the Falcons, if somebody's going to score, give me Bijan. Bijan. Go ahead. That's all I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Gotta take Bijan. He didn't score last week. I look for him to score this week.
No, man, I love it, man. I love the card this weekend. Definitely excited about some of these games.
Do you want me to give out my teaser, by the way? Since you gave out yours?
Do your thing.
That's basically the last thing I got. Feel free to check out Stare Down Sports if you want to follow my nasty boys, which are going to be the parlays I make for each of these primetime games and for the Saturday, Sunday. And I'll probably add an extra bet or two that I take because, like I said earlier in the show, this is phase 1. I got 2 phases. Second phase, I'm going to listen to some of my other guys who post a little bit late, see if there's anything else I like with numbers they got, and add to it. But real quick to end it, 9-leg, 6-point teaser. Bills plus 8.5. Cowboys -0.5. Lions -1. 49ers -0.5. Chargers -0.5. Baltimore Ravens -3.5. A little bit nervous about that one, but like I said, they should roll. Colts plus 2.5. Texans -0.5. Eagles -0.5. 10 to win 140 if you just throw 10 on it. Hey, if you got a little bonus bet from the parlay you lost this weekend, because I know you lost the parlay. I did too. Use that bonus money on it. Not a little bad. Should be fun. A lot of favorites should win this weekend. A lot of 6.5-point spread. So pretty good tease weekend, which means that one of these teams are going to lose and we're going to be heartbroken.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to go 4 for 5 every time.
Can't wait for it, though, because, hey, we love the thrills.
Man. Yeah, the Ravens actually moved to 8.5 now.
I don't get it.
I don't know who's coming in and betting Raiders, Panthers tickets, but
the Raiders literally punted on the 41-yard line going in. That doesn't tell you what they think about their offense. I mean, oh my God, 41 in to win the game. They didn't get the ball back. And I don't even need to talk about the Panthers. If you're betting the Panthers, man, you got crackhead energy. I respect it.
Hey man,
I'm going to
let it,
predict this Panthers game right as they go 1-15. Don't even make the money back.
you gotta let it ride sometimes, man.
Hey, I bet on the Colts every week, so don't let me tell you otherwise.
You gotta stop that shit, man.
Hey, they covered last week. Hey, you know what's worse now? I could have stopped. Like last year, I finally got to the point where I quit. AR's back now. We're back in.
Man, I got a homie, bro. Every week, Texans money line.
Betting minus 270s.
I said, bro, just cry when they lose, bro. You ain't gotta lose your money too, though.
Just bet your favorite player to score.
Anyway, man,
I
thank
don't.
you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on the time, squeezing me into your busy schedule. Football is back, baby.
It's like, bet your favorite player. All right, thanks, man. It's like, all right, now we're too far in. Now we're just giving out bad advice. I appreciate it, though. Thanks for having me on. It was a blast.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I didn't correlate the two. I've been thinking about how to close the show for like 5 minutes. I ain't gonna lie, I'm
No
really
better
thinking
way.
about this damn Chargers minus 5.5 because I haven't bet it yet and I want to bet it. But I just don't want to succumb to the peer pressure of the show. But I do want to bet it. So I'm just staring at it and then I was thinking I gotta close the show at some point. But man,
Close it with betting the Chargers. Ain't no better way.
hell yeah. I do appreciate it though, man. Love, love, love you coming on. Got the timestamps this week for all the games, man. Week 2, baby.
Can't wait. I'm so juiced, man. It's already week 2. We're that much closer to the Super Bowl, that much closer to playoffs, that much closer to just all these fun games, closer to college football playoffs. And I know for you, closer to college basketball, man.
It's
We're
around
not
the corner,
there.
baby. It's around the corner.
Holidays are coming up too. Got Thanksgiving, Halloween.
Man,
Fall's almost here. It's gonna get chilly. Best time of
talk to
year
him.
rolling around. Preaching like I'm at church.